What's up guys, Chipset from Chipset Reviews. So today I've got my hands on the brand new Ticwatch Pro 3. So Mobvoi has sent me a pre-release model to test, and I've been using this watch for nearly 2 weeks now, and it's pretty much blew my mind. This is the world's first smartwatch with the brand new Snapdragon 4100 chipset, which brings us an 85% boost in CPU performance, 150% boost in GPU performance, and it's 25% more power efficient than the previous gen. So a greater performance with lots of new features, and the Ticwatch Pro 3 is also thinner, stronger, and has a larger battery capacity. So straight away I can tell you that this smartwatch lasts 72 hours. So that's a solid 3-day battery life, and I will show you my stats later in the video. So this is the Ticwatch Pro 3 GPS model. Now the design is quite nice. The watch case is made from a combination of metal and plastic. So you've got a metal frame with a plastic back. The actual bezels have a smooth finish with time markings going all the way around, and the bezels are also made from metal. Now if I had to guess, I would say stainless steel, but I will definitely reconfirm this with you guys in a pinned comment. I will put the specs on the screen so you guys can have a quick read. Now you have a 1.4 inch AMOLED display with a screen resolution of 454 by 454, so we got a higher screen resolution than the previous models. You also have that same dual display technology that Ticwatch is known for, so a beautiful AMOLED display with a low powered FSTN display sandwiched on top. And this low powered display actually looks better when you have light shining directly on it, so when you're outdoors you're going to actually see that screen better. So we got the same dual screen technology, which has always been great. But this time they did something which I always wanted them to do. They somehow managed to make the watch slimmer. So the watch dimensions, they're 45.1 millimeters in diameter with a 12.6 millimeter thickness, and it weighs only 61 grams. Now the 22 millimeter straps are removable, and they are made from silicone. So you can expect it to be soft, comfortable on the wrist, and of course water resistant. So the strap design looks really nice. You've got a stitching design there, and it almost gives it a leather look. Now if I just quickly bring in the most recent Ticwatch Pro model, just to compare side by side with the new Ticwatch Pro 3, so you can see that FSTN display. Now if we just check the thickness out first of all, we're looking at 14 millimeters in the old model versus 12.6 millimeters. So even though it's just a few millimeters, it makes a big difference on the wrist, and it's noticeably lighter. So the previous Ticwatch Pro weighs 77 grams with the straps, and the new Ticwatch Pro 3 weighs only 61 grams. So slim and light is definitely more comfortable on my wrists. Now I always found the original to be slightly bulky and heavy, and I really like what Mobvoi has done with the new model. It's a new trimmed down design, and it does feel very comfortable on my wrist. And in case you're wondering, I have a wrist circumference of 7 inches. Yes, it's a big screen, but I definitely like that, and especially like that trimmed down design. Now as already mentioned, this is the first smartwatch powered by the Snapdragon 4100 chipset. You've also got 1 gig of RAM and 8 gigs of internal storage, so you are now getting double the internal storage space to download watch faces, apps, and of course your music collection. There is also Bluetooth version 5, built-in 5 satellite GPS, so a very good GPS built-in. You've also got Wi-Fi, NFC, and this is running the official WearOS by Google, so this supports Google Pay for your NFC payments. And I have to say, I do prefer Google Pay above the others, just because Google Pay supports a wider range of bank cards without restrictions. Now the battery size has also been upgraded from last year's 415 milliamp hours to a very juicy 595 milliamp hours. And the first thing I did is test the battery life. I wore it on my wrist and I never took it off come rain, sleep or showers. It's been stuck on my wrist like glue till it died, and it managed to give me 3 whole days. That's 72.2 hours to be exact, and I was very impressed with the battery life. Now to give you some insight on what I did, I worked out 1 hour every single day. I had the heart rate sensor on 24-hour constant. The SpO2 was also set to 24 hours. Sleep monitoring was on auto. So basically all the features were switched on and on automatic. Wi-Fi and brightness were also set on automatic. So it gave me 3 lovely days of usage, and I've not experienced or seen a Google Wear OS watch to last this long. So Mobvoi has absolutely nailed it with the bigger battery size. Now this watch also has another nice trick up its sleeve. You can now have automatic sleep monitoring, or tick sleep, whilst the watch is in power saving mode, or essential mode as Mobvoi calls it. Now in my 3-day battery test, I did not use essential mode even once. But before going to sleep, you can switch to essential mode and effectively still track your sleep, and when you wake up you can switch back to normal full smart mode, which means ultimately you can achieve an even longer battery life than 3 days if you want. And this is what essential mode looks like. So basically you have that secondary screen active and the AMOLED display is totally switched off. So you have high sunlight visibility, date and time, 24-hour heart rate monitoring, step counter, and now you have sleep monitoring. So that's all you get in this mode, but it tracks all the important health stuff. There are no apps or anything else you can do, so swiping in any direction or pressing any button is not going to give you any other feature. So let's just go back to smart mode. All you do is keep the top button pressed, you will see the Ticwatch logo, and then it will load back into the full smart mode. Furthermore, this watch is IP68 water resistant, so you can go swimming with it and you can track your swimming activities with this watch. Now, I guess we're going to have to bring in another new watch, the latest Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. So here they are, this is how they fare. Both watches 45mm in diameter, a 1.4-inch display versus a 1.4-inch display. So more or less the same size display. The Galaxy Watch is 11mm thick, and the Ticwatch Pro 3 is 12.6mm thick. So Galaxy Watch is slightly slimmer. And finally the weight. Galaxy Watch weighs 65.4 grams and the Ticwatch Pro 3 weighs 61 grams. So quite evenly matched in nearly every department, but the Ticwatch Pro 3 still manages to be slightly lighter than the Galaxy Watch 3. Now coming back to the Ticwatch. Now on the side we have a power button and back button, a single microphone in the center, and you have a customizable down button. So when you press this button, you can customize it to open any app you like. On the other side, you have your loudspeaker grille, and at the bottom we have our health sensors, which includes a heart rate, SpO2, and if we quickly bring in the previous gen Ticwatch Pro, just to show you the difference in the setup of the sensors. So as you can see, we have brand new sensors added to the new Ticwatch Pro 3. Now the charger pins look quite similar. I will show you the charger. So you're getting a magnetic USB charger. It's only going to go on one way, and it takes just over 90 minutes to fully charge, but then you can expect a reliable 3-day battery life, which is actually quite amazing for a Google Wear OS watch. Now it's time to check out the watch face and features. So here is one of the default watch faces, which is one of my favorites. I really do like that black and red, and it's very informative. If you keep the center pressed, you will then be presented with a large choice of different watch faces that you can instantly change to. And I will now show you the complete range of watch faces available on this watch. So those were all your watch faces, and before we look at the other features, I want to quickly go through the smartphone app with you. Okay, so here are the 3 apps that you need to download. You've got Mobvoi, WearOS, and Google Fit is optional. So if we open up the WearOS app first of all, it will show you your connection status. So Ticwatch Pro 3 GPS model. You have your watch faces here, so you can change your watch faces directly from the watch, or you can do it from your smartphone. So here are all the watch faces that I just showed you. You've got quite a big library of watch faces, but You've also got the Play Store on the watch, so you can go into the Play Store and you can download more watch faces if you need them. Here are your settings. You've got tiles, notifications, agenda, Google Assistant and advanced. Quickly show you what tiles are. So tiles are basically your features when you swipe left and right, and you will be able to access all of these. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 6 tiles here arranged. I can change the order. It reminds me of the Samsung's Tizen OS. This is how they have their tiles set up, and I like it. It's definitely a good way of doing things. You can add more stuff here. So these are more tiles that you can add. I'll quickly show you what they are. Voice memos as well, headlines, news. So hand wash timer, calculator. So a whole bunch of stuff that you can add to your tiles, and then they'll be displayed on the watch. So every time you swipe left and right, you will see the tiles. And we're going to look at that in detail. Don't worry, I'll show you that very soon. Advanced settings. You've got your always on screen, tilt to wake screen, so screen on hand raise is what I like to call it. You've got your auto launch media controls and a bunch of other stuff, including unpairing and resetting. So always on display, I'll quickly show you what that looks like. So that's what the always on display looks like. And if you switch it off, you'll get your standard low powered display. So I don't really use always on display because you've already got 2 nice displays on there that do the job. Now to check your health stats, you need to open the Mobvoi app, or there is a shortcut, just tap on the watch and that takes you straight to the Mobvoi app. So this is my morning stats. So if you want to elaborate on that, just tap any of these. It will give you a page in glance for fitness. And if you tap Health Center, it will give you a complete day of everything you've done. And you can go back and look at other days as well. And you've got a monthly view as well. So you can see there 9, 10, 11. This was my battery testing, initial battery testing stage. So I put the watch on late on the 8th, 9, 10, and then 11 at night. And that gave me a total of 72-hour battery life. So it is the 19th today. I put the watch on yesterday. It's given me 2 solid full days, and I know it's going to last till tomorrow. So 3-day battery is definitely the case here. Okay, so the current date, 19th of September. So as we saw before, your health rings, steps, minutes, and your time. You've got your distance and calories there. Here is your heart rate for the day, a chart, and you can elaborate on any of these. If you tap more, it will give you a proper detailed report of what's going on. Now, sleep tracking is again one of my favorite features. Last night, I went to sleep at 9:52 and I woke up at 3:14. I went down to the kitchen, I had a drink, and then I came back up, went to sleep at 4:10 after playing around with my phone. And then I woke up at 5:50 and got ready for my 6 o'clock morning walk. So you can add that up. So just over 6 hours, 60 minutes sleep. My sleep is definitely not good enough. If you click on more, you can get a better insight of all your sleep. So if we have a look at the bottom, you've got your sports. So for today, there's only been one sport I've done. It's called walking, and it's a hell of a sport, I tell you. 23-minute outdoor walk. I went 6:20 in the morning. I done 2.34 kilometers, and that's my target, to do roughly 2-kilometer walk every morning. It took me 22 minutes to do it. My average heart rate shows 127. It actually peaked above 137 if you look at the chart. So my heart rate was quite high, and you can see my average speed, 6 kilometers, step frequency, step length. And there is my route right there. You've got a GPS map showing you exactly where you went, how far you walked, so on and so forth. So very nice detailed health report. The health report can also be viewed directly on the watch. So excellent health tracking capabilities, and the smartphone apps work really well. As soon as you come back from your jog or your run or your walk, you can just open the smartphone app and everything will get synced straight away. All right, so back to the watch. We're going to check out all the features now. So if we swipe down from the top, you've got your quick toggles. So you've got airplane mode, brightness, so just tap it and you've got immediate access to brightness. The AMOLED display does get very bright. Now over here you have your sound, so you can switch sound off or you can have it on. You've got your Google Pay there. Over here you have your cinema mode. So cinema mode turns off that AMOLED display temporarily. So that means if you're in the cinema, the lights are off, you're watching a movie, every now and then when you raise your hand, at least the whole area around you won't light up with your smartwatch. Okay, over here we have do not disturb, so if you tap it, so you won't get any alerts, no notifications, no sounds. At the bottom you'll see your connection information and your battery information. At the top you've got shortcut to settings. So if you tap it, it will take you straight into the main settings, and we will go through that in a bit. So that's your quick toggles. If we swipe to the right, you've got your Google Assistant. What is the weather like tomorrow in London? So I'm actually a meter away from the watch, and it managed to pick my voice up from that distance. And the Google Assistant can do its regular stuff like check the weather, show reminders, set alarms, send a message, or even call a friend. So yes, this watch does support Bluetooth phone calls, so you can make and receive phone calls directly on the watch. Now, if we swipe up from the bottom, you've got your notifications. Then this watch is quite advanced. You'll be able to read and reply to notifications, and that includes emails, text messages, WhatsApp messages, Twitter, Facebook. There's a lot you can do. So I've got a notification of Twitter. I can reply, retweet, or like directly from the watch. So if I hit reply, so you can reply via your voice, emojis, or keyboard, or you can use some presets. Now I'll show you the keyboard. So you basically got a small QWERTY keyboard. So if I want to type a simple message, I'm just going to say, hi, how's it going? It's fairly accurate. I guess if I am making a mistake, that's going to be because I got a camera in my way as well. And then you hit send and it's immediately going to send it. You can also use the swipe method if you find that easier. Presets are useful, but here's your voice. Hi, how's it going? That's it. I can hit send and it's easy as that. Speech to text. So that was your notifications. If we swipe to the left, you've got your tiles. So these are the tiles that I've chosen, and if you wanted to change the order around or remove or delete them, you can do it from the phone, but you can also do it directly from the watch. So you keep the center pressed and then you can move things around. So for my setup, I have tick health, fitness goals, weather forecast, your events, heart rate sensors, tick pulse, and then you can add more. So if I hit add, you can straight away add any of these. So those were your tiles. Now if we tap the top button, it will open up all your apps. So let's go through them. So you've got phone, tick health, tick exercise, tick pulse, tick sleep, tick breathe, tick zen, tick oxygen, tick hearing, voice memo, calculator, alarm, stopwatch, timer, weather, contacts, Google Pay, agenda, essential mode, torch, find my phone, settings, Mobvoi privacy, a translator. You got fit breathe, fit goals, fit heart rate, fit workout, hand washing timer, the Google Play Store, reminders, and Spotify, which I actually downloaded myself from the Play Store. We are going to test out the phone call feature. I'm calling myself right now with a private number. So this is what you can expect. You can drop the call or answer it, and I will answer it. I'll show you the options you have. Dial pad volume. I'll put the volume on max.
So this is a microphone test with the Ticwatch Pro 3. So this is what you can expect. So I am in another room speaking directly into my mobile phone, and my voice will be heard on the smartwatch. The volume of the smartwatch is on max, so you'll see if it distorts or if it sounds clear. You're going to hear exactly what it sounds like. So I'm going to come back now and we're going to swap things around.
Swap things around. Speaker. Ignore the echoes. Volume max. Let's go. So now I'm talking directly into the watch. You can hear me on my smartphone. So what we're doing now is we're testing the watch's microphone. So hopefully this sounds good, and then that would effectively mean that the microphone on the Ticwatch Pro 3 is good quality. So Bluetooth phone calls are supported on the watch, and we just tested out the microphone and the speaker. Now here is Tick Health. As I mentioned earlier, you can check your health stats directly on the phone, or you can do it on the watch. So here is my morning exercise, 28 minutes, active hours 2. So all of that information is there on the watch as well. Now if we go back, you've got tick exercise. So you got 13 exercises which you can choose from, and all the popular choices are there. You've got your running, outdoor walk, indoor run, cycling, indoor cycling, and so on and so forth. You even got yoga and mountaineering. So I did test out the outdoor walk in the morning, and it works great. So we've got tick pulse. So I am wearing the watch now, so you'll see that in action. It measures your heart rate throughout the day. So this is your constant 24-hour heart rate sensor. So next up, let's look at tick sleep. So that's all your sleep data information, which you can view directly on the watch. You've got tick breathe. So simple breathing exercises to help you relieve stress and calm your nerves. You've got tick zen. Now this actually tests your stress levels. So you can see I tested my stress level earlier and it says low pressure, which means low stress. So quite nice. Let's keep going. You've got tick oxygen. So that's your SpO2 sensor. and the watch has to be as close as possible to the wrist for this to give you an accurate reading. There you go, 97%, and that's normal. And if you swipe up, you can see other records of this week and more information. So they've really upped their health game. You've got voice memos. So you can start recording voice memos, you can change the audio quality, and you can listen to your recordings. Now let's go back. You've got a calculator. I do want to show you what most of these apps at least look like. So 8 plus 9 equals alarms. So you can set a new alarm. Now you've got a stopwatch. That's fairly straightforward stuff. Oh, I like that animation there. Nice. Okay, timers. So you can set quick timers. We'll set one for 1 minute. Boom. So 1 minute timer. Let's hear how it sounds. So the timer will go off in about 30 seconds, but we'll keep going and see if we get interrupted. Contacts, which I'm not going to open, but that will show you all your phone numbers of all your contacts. You've got Google Pay, Agenda. Essential mode can be switched on from here. You've got torch. Timer. That's your timer. I can feel vibration as well. So sound and vibration. And you switch it off whenever you want. You've got Find My Phone, Settings, Mobvoi Privacy. You've got a translator. Now you've got Fit Breathe, Fit Goals, Fit Health, Fit Workouts. You've got Hand Washing Timer, Play Store Reminders, and Spotify. But I'm going to show you the Play Store is where I got it from. So recommended for you. You've got all of these apps here. Messenger, Microsoft Outlook, Shazam, Strava, Telegram. And this is one of the reasons why Google WearOS is so popular, because you have all the popular apps. You have all the big apps that you're ever going to need available to download anytime you want. So lots of downloads available from the Play Store. So I want to quickly go through the settings. You've got display settings. If you tap it, you can change your watch face, adjust the brightness. Adaptive brightness is the best option. But for this video, I've set it on 3, because if I go too high, the camera gets blurred. So I have to stay roughly 3 or 4, and then you guys can see the screen clearly. Brightness is great. AMOLED display, you're not going to have any issue with the brightness. It gets very bright. Now font size can be changed. You've got the always on screen, which I showed you earlier. You've got touch lock. You've got screen timeout 15 seconds. The default recommended is 5 seconds. I've done 15, so it doesn't time out every time I'm trying to show you guys things. Sounds, you've got media volume, alarm volume, ring volume. You can choose to also have vibration on, and you can change the watch ringtones. So that's your sounds. You've got apps and notifications. So app info, app notification, permissions, override, do not disturb, normal patterns, gestures, tilt to wake, touch to wake, and for navigation you have wrist gestures. And I want to show you what wrist gestures are. So watch needs to go on my wrist again. So wrist gestures are on, and I'm going to quickly show you what wrist gestures are. So here's your watch. If you tap upwards, you can see it's scrolling. Then I can bring it all down by flicking the wrist downwards. So you're basically scrolling up and down by just flicking your wrist. You've got tilt to wake and touch to wake. Now tilt to wake is when you raise your hand and the screen will turn on. So you've got your connectivity over here, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, NFC, aeroplane mode, and location. You've got accessibility, personalization, accounts, screen lock, on or off, smart reply, OK, you know what, detection, input modes, enable alternative launcher, device administration, and so on and so forth. Now finally, your system options. You've got essential mode, date time, restart, turn off, disconnect and reset, about, and regularity information. Here's your model information, version, serial, system updates, and the system is up to date. Now launch date is 24th of September, and I believe by then there's going to be another firmware update dropping. So this is a pre-release model. I was lucky enough to get my hands on an early edition. It's actually been a wonderful experience so far. The watch has excellent health tracking capabilities, lots of features to keep you busy, and a very good battery life. So now it's time for a screen on hand race test. I have a Galaxy Watch 3 on one hand and the Ticwatch Pro 3 on the other. So let's see which one's quicker. So Galaxy Watch was definitely faster the first time around. So I think the Ticwatch is about 1 second slower. I suppose it's still not bad if you wanted to tell the time. It takes about a second to turn on compared to the Galaxy Watch 3, which is of course instant. But this watch has something that the Samsung Galaxy Watch of course does not have, that secondary display, which gives you basic information. You got the date, time and step counter, and if you need more info you just flick your wrist and then you've got the full smartwatch to look at. Okay, so we're going to do a simultaneous heart rate test, so tap measure on both. The Ticwatch has already given us a reading of 110 and the Galaxy Watch 3, so 111 and 110. So we've got an accurate heart rate sensor on the Ticwatch Pro 3. Okay, so we're doing a simultaneous heart rate test. I have a heart rate and blood oxygen ring on my finger, and that's a medical grade device, so it's going to be really accurate. And you can see the reading, it says 109, 110 and 97% is my blood oxygen. So you can see the heart rate constantly changing. Now I'm measuring my heart rate on the watch. If we keep an eye on both, it's 107 on this side, 110, 105, 106, 110, 108, 112. So you can see that it's actually fairly accurate. 111, 108, there you go, they're in line with each other after 30 seconds. 108, 109, 110. So this watch does have an accurate heart rate sensor. Another thing I want to test is the blood oxygen, measuring, and you can see it's 95% on my finger. 95% blood oxygen. Let's see what the watch gets. 96% blood oxygen. 98 on here, a little bit higher. My ring is saying 96%. So very, very close figures. I don't know if there's a huge difference between 96 and 98. Now that's medical grade and the watch may not be, but I have to say that does look like a very close reading. So this is the Ticwatch Pro 3. I've just started my morning walk, so you can see the timer. 1 minute 12 seconds. So let's keep going. We're at 13 minutes and 53 seconds, and those are the stats. So here are the results of my outdoor walk. So you can see I left at 6:18 in the morning. I've come back 6:42, 22-minute duration, 2.34 kilometers. My heart rate, calories, and all the other information. Total 2,458 steps. So there you have it, guys. That was the new Ticwatch Pro 3. Now this is an amazing new entry into the smartwatch world. I pretty much enjoyed nearly every part of this smartwatch. The design and concept is pretty much the same as the previous Ticwatch Pro, so same dual screen display technology, and I don't have a problem with that because the design looks great and it's a premium professional looking watch. Now a few things to bear in mind. Back cover is made from plastic and you have a 2.5D tempered glass on the front. So unfortunately you're not getting that military standard that we got from the previous model. But nevertheless, I do like that the bezels are also smaller than the previous gen, and Mobvoi has also slimmed down the watch body. In fact, the watch is lighter in weight and the internals have all been upgraded. So you're getting the latest Snapdragon 4100, and this is the first smartwatch to have this new chipset. And the new chip brings speed, performance, Bluetooth version 5, great power efficiency amongst many other benefits. The battery has also been upgraded to 595 milliamp hours. You have Google's WearOS, which includes the Play Store, which includes all the popular training apps like Strava and your music choices and lots more. Google Voice Assistant and Google Pay are in a class of their own. So it looks like nearly every box has been ticked by Mobvoi's Ticwatch. So bottom line, you're getting a unique design with dual displays, superb health tracking, detailed reports, accurate health sensors, smartphone app well optimized with plenty of information. You've got a great battery life, and you've got to absolutely love Google Wear OS and the Google Voice Assistant on your wrist. Now, if I bring in my top smartwatch chart of 2020, you will see the Ticwatch Pro 3 is currently ranked at number 2 on this chart. Of course, as I gain more experience with the device, the rankings can always change slightly. And as usual, if I do have any future updates to share on this device, then I will update you guys in a pinned comment. Also, quick word about iOS. This watch works great with full functionality on Android phones, but if you connect it to iOS, it will still work, but you will lose some functionality, and I will definitely update you guys in the pinned comments to let you know exactly what works and what doesn't. So exciting things are happening in the smartwatch world, especially seeing a brand new chipset, the Snapdragon 4100. And with that being said, I will leave the links in the description so you guys can check this product out. Meanwhile, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you guys in the next one.